Stage displays previously sucked trying to create what a stage display looks like. Now with the stage editor, it's the same slide editor that you're used to using for your main presentations, and it has the same guide features, the same layer object features, the same properties. So it's really a lot more user-friendly. And they also have a bunch of templates already created for you if you want to use their templates. We can create our own. I've already done that with 3 of these. So this is a copy of what our current slide, next slide, and time clock look like for lyrics. And then this is similar to what Lino uses for like the time of day clock that switches between worship and message. And then this is just an example of having a time clock and a timer text, which we can talk about in a second. But let's talk about creating a stage display that's useful. So I'm going to create a blank slide here, or a blank layout. And then to create it, we have the same plus button, but it gives us all these extra options, which are only available for a stage display. So we'll just talk through those. Just like you used to be able to do, it's got current slide and next slide. But now what you're able to do is for your current slide, you can either show just the text, a preview image, or notes, and you can do the same for the next slide. But if you want to see like what was the live output, this is especially useful in kids. They changed the option so that it's now a screen preview. So instead of having to choose live slide, now we can just choose a screen preview, and it will show me, it's actually just a shape that fills with the screen preview of whatever my main output is. So this one is right now CG1A. If I wanted to, I could also do a screen preview of the stage display on the stage display. So that's kind of like re-entering into itself. So this would just show what's here. Anyways, okay. So that's how you get your live output for like a kid's room. But in auditoriums, we don't want that. We want to see the current slide, the text of it. So there it is. Now you could leave it like that, but what we could actually do is, you know, align it how we want it. And then we can do like some text scaling. So I don't want it to get too big, but I do want it to be like big enough to read. Hello. But apparently that box can't handle that size. Oh, I did. What's going on? Am I learning how to use this for the first time? Probably. Hold on, I'm just reading a note. Okay, so this is your current slide, and the way, I don't know if anybody cares, but the way that this is happening is it's through a linked text. So right now it's just a slide that says current slide, but if you link the text, you can link it to all these options. So right now we're linking it to the current slide, and it'll just automatically do that for you if you choose it in this little current slide thing. It'll just do the linking for you, but if it's broken, that's where it's at. Okay, that's how to do that slide. So then we also want our next slide. So I'll grab that, I'll pop that in there. And this is looking really ugly, but we'll get there. What's going on? This is a style that I copied earlier from Jason. Thank you, from his theme. So that looks more in brand. And then we can add our clock. So here's where your clocks and timers come through. So we've got timers like we used to, which you can link now, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then your system clock, that's your time of day, whatever the computer says it is. And then in your link text for system clock, this is where you can set what it looks like. So if you wanted to have the full date, you totally can. I don't know why we would want that, but you can. And then this is where you can choose to have it be just our minute seconds, or hour, minute, seconds with the time zone, in case anybody really needs to know. Or you can switch it into 24-hour clock, which was not previously an option. So that's fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for anybody else. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it through a timer. Now, Pro 7 comes with a segment, a pre-show, and a game timer, which you can rename and change and add and delete, whatever you want. So I have this, let's just add one. So to add a new timer, it's in this timers window. And I'm just going to add a new one that says students. Oopsie. Okay, so there's my students timer. So it's the countdown to time or elapsed time, which he's just saying 10 minutes. So boom, 10-minute countdown. Okay. So that's all I need to do in the timers window right now. It exists. But I can come back in my stage display and I can go timers, students. So what it's doing is it's pulling a linked text of the source is this timer and it's the students countdown. So I want to make this really big and in brand. Stop. So that, likes us. And then we'll make it super big. I guess we'll make it bigger than that. Wow. Okay. So I want this to not have hours. So I can come down here and click in my format and turn the hours off. And I don't want the frames. So I'll turn that off. So I just want minutes and seconds. Okay. So now if we go out to our show, and I'll just go to my my training presentation, so there's nothing there. The first thing that I want to do is, oh gosh, stop. How should I show you this? Like this. So, okay, sorry, there's like so many steps to get to what I want to show you. So the output changes that you're making are now in screens. So we're going screen, stage display, blank layout. There's my 10-minute countdown. So right now it's only on the stage display. To start it, I'm just gonna go start. Boom, it's working. So that's how you just do a basic timer countdown for your student, pastor, or whoever, your CP, whatever. And it's just in a stage display. Now, there is something very cool that I'm gonna pray works. It's a new thing called color triggers. So what we can do is have the timer change colors both on the stage display and on the actual output. So if you're doing like a game timer and you want the game on screen to change colors, you can do that. And you can have the stage display change colors. They can be the same or they can be different. This purpose, let's just do a 1-minute countdown. Okay, so we'll start this countdown and we'll see if it's gonna change. Boom. Wow, isn't that cool? Change color and tell your CP and student pastor it's time to wrap it up. We kind of flowed right from the stage editor into timers. The two things that I wanted to talk about were that they have these pre-built ones that you can use, or we can get rid of them and do them ourselves. You just kind of, on my magic mouse, I'm just sliding over to delete it and boom, it's gone. And then the color triggers, which do work if, I don't know, if you do it right. The thing that we noticed with the color triggers is, as you saw, it changed at 29. So at 30 seconds, because it's waiting till 30:00, so it's going to change the next second or the next frame. So if you want it to change on that number exactly, then just make your color trigger 1 second before it, and then it will change there. As we all have done, maybe, I know some people do this where you have your some of your slides are like clear slides or 4 bars or whatever trigger certain stage displays. And I'll just show you how it's going to happen. So right now I just clicked on this slide and it just changed my stage display output to be my clock. And then I'm clicking on this one and it changes it to be hello. And then it changes it to be my lyrics output. So you can see this little like ice cream cone thing. That's what it looks like to me. That's probably not what Meridian Vision calls it, but that's what I'm going to call it. So the way to make that happen is you go add action stage, and then this is where you can choose what's happening. So there's two things that you can do in this. The first thing is your stage display layout. So it gives you the drop down, and this is the one I want, done. So now it's going to change my stage display layout. You can edit it like Russell was saying, and then, oops, I wanted it to be this one instead. So there we go. The other thing that you can do now in there is the slide destination. So this is like if you have something, I don't know an exact use case for it for us, but if you want something to be suppressed on the slide output to only go to the stage, you can choose it here. Or if you want to make sure it goes to stage and audience, you can do that there, or you can just unselect. By default, your slide's going to go to your your like slide output, your main output, and then your stage display will go to your stage display.